This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
He was a Giant, and he was a Cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
Good evening, Byron.
Good evening. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing well. I'm getting ready for this cold tomorrow, and Dallas is supposed to be in the single digits, and then with the wind chill, it's supposed to be actually in the minus. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we had that cold weather a couple of years ago. They were saying it's gonna be kind of like a rehearsal process.
Yeah, it's just not as long, so we'll see what happens. But whatever, I'll be ready for it. Hopefully everything else will do. But I know you don't have to deal with it. Why?
Well, I'm over my youngest daughter. I'm over in Vegas. So
you're over in Vegas. Cold was too much for you?
Yeah, the cold too much for me, so I had to go check on my baby girl.
Wow. I thought you were tough too. I was telling everybody how tough you were. You were one of those guys that blindsided you, waiting until somebody was looking.
Jim, one of the things you got to know about Byron Williams is I played in one of the coldest games ever, 46 below. Chicago. We played Chicago. It was so cold that game. There was probably 10 people in the stands.
It was only 10 people in the stands?
It was cold, though. No, it was a lot of people in the stands.
And
but that's the year the Chicago Bears won the Super Bowl. They beat us in the playoff game.
And you walked 20 miles to get to the stadium because the bus couldn't start, right?
Yeah, we had to go downhill. They couldn't stop the bus, so we had to walk to the stadium. And we were cold before we got to the stadium.
Oh, you really believe that?
If you only knew what I've been through in my life, you'll be respecting me forever.
No. Well, I played in some cold games myself.
What's the coldest game you ever played in?
It was so cold in Buffalo one time. We were playing the Denver Broncos, and I spit, and it turned into ice before it touched the ground. Now, you know that's cold.
That's cold.
And then it had that lake effect snow.
But what was the temperature that day? That's what I'm asking you.
I don't know. I didn't want to mess my psyche up. If I knew the temperature, I probably would have stayed at home.
I write those things down. 46 below. Can you imagine? That's cold.
I can't imagine for you. If it was, I wouldn't have known it. We just went to work. Hey, but speaking about football, we get into the NFL. A lot of things going on in the NFL, as always. Some exciting games this week. Obviously, the Giants won, Cowboys lost. And, that's a part of the NFL. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. And then here in Dallas, since you're in Las Vegas, they're all on Dak. Dak did throw one bad interception, but the other one wasn't his fault. Noah Brown should have caught that ball.
They should have caught it. Yeah, I agree.
And everybody.
But let me tell you something. Dak got to get to the point to where he know the receivers that he got to depend on.
That is true.
And Noah Brown is still, it's still in that iffy mode to where he's not the key guy. You got to go to your key guys when you got to close out the game. You got to go to the key guys.
I agree with you to a certain extent because prior to that, Brown was playing pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a good player.
He was. I think he had. He was their leading receiver, and he
doing that particular game.
Yeah. And that's the thing, and that's the thing. He made a bad play. He made two bad plays. He dropped two passes, but he did catch the touchdown to tie the score. And it's not. It's kind of like, what have you done for me lately? And I really don't blame that on the offense. I blame it on the defense.
Absolutely. But, being a receiver, this is one thing a receiver got to understand. You can catch 10 passes and drop that one ball, and people are going to talk about that one ball, and especially in a critical situation. So that's your job. You got to catch the most important ball, and that's the next ball.
Yeah. Here's an interesting stat. Did you know that Trevor Lawrence hasn't been sacked in the last 5 games?
I was hearing something about that, and I heard that, he's been playing one of the most consistent at quarterback in the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, with a bad toe. Probably just a turf toe, but he lost Cam Robinson, his left tackle, with a pec injury. And but you got to give them credit. They deserved to win. They were down 27 to something like 27 to 10, and they came back, and their Cowboys have some issues.
Let me ask you a question. When you're up 27 to 10 or whatever, do some teams take the gas pedal, take the pressure off? They just start relaxing.
Some people do.
Do you think the Cowboys got in that mode?
I really do think that happened, because when we were up, Jimmy was actually tougher on us because he didn't want us to, like you said, take the gas off. He made us attack.
Yeah. And
we would attack even harder. And he would tell the coaches that too. Hey, we're going to get them, because you never know what's going to happen in the game. So there's no question they did. No question they took the gas off the pedal. I'm trying to put them out. Even on offense, I'm trying to make the big play. But
now, there's one person I know that played professional on a professional level that didn't believe in that, and that was Michael Jordan. He believe in burying you.
That's right.
He got you down. He gonna bury you.
That's right. Step on your throat, and I agree with him.
Yeah.
You shouldn't let off. There is the same thing happened with Calvin Joseph. Calvin Joseph was the young man in the off season who had the issue downtown with some of his friends killing somebody.
Right.
We gave him the start, and he didn't step up. They had faith in him, but they had to take him out of the game.
And I know Jerry Jones was talking about it was time for him to make it or break it. And he was talking about him before the game. That's one of the areas. That's why he was a second-round draft choice, and they were looking for him to step up and be the guy they thought that he could be.
Yeah, and he didn't. They had to take him out, and they put Bland in his position. And that's the thing about how pro football is. Obviously, you played long enough to know that you have to, when you get your opportunity, you better take advantage of it, because as fast as you came up, as fast as you can go down.
Absolutely. And the guys got to realize this is a small window. And, they already got every year, you're being looked at and evaluated. And when it's your time to step up, the player get hurt, you on the second unit, the third unit, next man up. And if you're not stepping up and you're not living up to expectation, they're going to get you up out of there.
Oh, yeah, they're going to move on to the next person.
Yeah.
When I was a rookie, they gave me time to adjust and acclimate myself to it. But Harvey Martin abruptly retired my second year, and he called me and told me he was retiring. He said, "It's yours now." And I had to step up. And the flex is difficult to learn. We ran the flex defense, but I had to play now. I didn't have that time to just gradually go in. I had to get ready now. So.
This is one of the things I want you to explain on this show, because that's a good point. Could you explain a little bit about the flex defense and how complicated it is to play the flex defense? Not only that, is that you got to do your assignment in order for the other player to make his assignment work, because it's like a total team effort.
Yeah, it was. Tom Landry designed it. It was really, truly some of the 3-4 in it, because I was off the ball. I was in a frog stance. And my keys, and I'll tell you why it became extinct, was my key was the triangle, the guard, the fullback, and the center. Well, the reason we had so much problems against Washington is because they were a one-back offense. So it took the key away. And I always had to take that jab step, and then my eyes would come back to the tackle. The tackle couldn't cut me off, but if he stepped out, I had to step out and stay inside of him. And then if he goes down, and the fast key was to read the fullback, because we all know the majority of fullbacks would take you to the play back then.
Right.
Like I said, with the one-back sets, it was a little more difficult because you didn't have that fullback key.
Right. And that was the traditional offense. We did, almost everybody had 2 or 3 fullbacks on the roster.
Yeah.
And that was like a mini tight end, a subway to the tight end sets.
Yeah. It started with Rob Carpenter and then went to Mo Carthon.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Both teammates of mine with the Giants.
Actually, Rob's son got drafted number one by the Cowboys, Bobby Carpenter.
Right, Bobby Carpenter from Texas A&M. Yeah.
No, Bobby was from Ohio State.
Okay, Ohio State. That's right. I just wanted to check and see if I'm just checking your history.
Yeah.
Put a check by his name.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey,
but
I woke up this morning. You know, I'm 2 hours behind Dallas, and woke up to a lot of texts and phone was ringing and things. And one of my dear friends passed away last night in the middle of the night. Yeah, Franco Harris. And
they don't know what he died of yet, huh?
No, they haven't. They don't know what he died. He died in his sleep. You know, he was 72 years old. Yeah. And, just a good family man. I just been knowing him for years. Go to all his events every year at the Super Bowl. Yeah. You know, he's just a super guy, not only on the football field, but in the whole city of Pittsburgh. And in fact, this weekend, they're retiring his jersey. 3 days from retiring his jersey, as well as they was celebrating that 50th year of the Immaculate Reception.
Yes, which is really sad because they were having a big event for that. And it's really sad when you lose somebody of that great stature, or anybody, because he is not the Ronnie Hellman played for the Denver Broncos on the Super Bowl teams in the 90s. He was 31 years old. Actually, it wasn't the 90s. It was the 2000s. He had to play with Peyton Manning. And he's in the hospital with liver cancer. He's 31 years old.
Wow.
He hasn't even lived his life yet. My twins are 31 years old.
Right.
And he's in hospice. So,
wow.
You know, you're not promised.
You're not promised. That's why you got to value each day that you live.
Exactly.
And just be thankful because, you know, this is we all on borrowed time.
We are on borrowed time. Every day is one less day. You're right about that. So that's getting to that segue. I don't understand what happened in L.A. with Willie McGinnis.
Yeah. It's, they say he was at a nightclub out and somebody tried to, I guess, come up and maybe just bully him or something. I don't know. Maybe said something to him. I don't know, but it's been in the news.
Weird because he walked. They showed the video, and maybe you never know if it's the full video, but he was walking by the table, and the guy was sitting there, and he just started swinging on him. It didn't look like the guy said anything, but it was interesting is he had his buddies. They started jumping the guy. It was about 5 guys on him. The guy wouldn't go down. He was trying to fight back, but you got 5 guys on you.
You know, one of the things that's happening now more and more is guys, they know you're a celebrity. They know you who you are, and they see you on TV. You know, people try to jump you or try to fight you just to put a lawsuit against you. You know, it's crazy that the society that we live in now.
And that is true because that happened when I remember a couple of weeks as a streaker during the Rams game. I think it was the Rams and the 49ers. And he was running there. And then Bobby, the one that used to play for Seattle.
Bobby Humphrey?
No, it's not Humphrey. It's but he played for Seattle, and he hit the guy, and the guy sued him. Not that he's going to get away with it, but that's
Yeah.
things that happen. He was illegal running on the field. He was a criminal act. So it's a different world. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, you got to be careful where you go now. You got to be careful be careful your surrounding.
Yes.
It's just a different makeup of our society now with all this other stuff going on.
I agree.
You know, now I saw where he bonded out of jail in LA, $30,000 bond or something like that. But it's kind of sad you got to go through that, huh?
And he was a analyst on NFL Network. Now he won't be doing that.
Yeah, when you got this investigation going and maybe it might be a felony, you know, it's just they have to take you off. That's part of what they do.
Yeah, but that's it. But hey, last week there were some exciting games. We can talk Minnesota coming back.
The biggest comeback in NFL history.
And for 33 points, the biggest comeback. And there were quite a few games. The Cowboys gave up 17 points. And who was it else? There was somebody else that gave up 17. Was it Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee. I don't know if they gave up anything, but they got their butt beat by the Chargers. I know that.
Yeah, they got beat by the Chargers.
Yeah.
So right there. And then, you know who it was? It was Cincinnati against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. Yeah, the biggest came back and beat them 34-23.
Yeah.
Because I was saying Tampa Bay finna go off on Cincinnati.
Yep. And Tom Brady obviously owned the AFC, but he hasn't won a game against the AFC this year. And
Tom Brady, that just goes to show you, you know, how good a team he had, complete team that he had in New England. You know, he had good receivers. He had great linemen. The blocking scheme and everything was there. But now you got all these different coaches, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for him, but it take a unit to win in the NFL.
Yeah, that's true. Merry Christmas, Jason. I knew you'd be here tonight after what the Vikings did last week. I knew you'd be here.
Yeah, we had a couple of Vikings at our show last week. They were walking around with their chest out.
Jason talked to him. Jason was excited.
Oh, that's right. He
was crying Skull Bikes. But Jason, did you know that Jason's fiance's son, they won the state championship? He plays for Gunter.
Oh, he played for Gunter. Congratulations, Jason.
Yeah, they won the Congratulate Lindsay. Don't congratulate Jason. Jason just went to the game. Lindsay did all the work.
Jason gave him that pep talk, though. He gave him that pep talk.
Yeah, he probably did. He probably knowing Jason.
He began you pep talk when you working you out. So I know he gave a good pep talk.
Jason don't work out anymore. Jason moved out there in the country.
You
now.
don't work out with Jason no more, but let me tell you, still getting up at 4:00, so he got you programmed.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. So Jason, thanks for having them programmed, because he told me last week, I got to get home. I got to get up at 4:00.
Yep, that is right. That is true. That is a true statement. That is true. Are the Vikings going to go anywhere in the playoffs?
The Vikings, the Giants going to beat them this week.
Giants going to beat them this week?
That's all I know. I don't know if they're going to go anywhere. They should have lost. Last week. Anytime you 33 points up on the team, it's got to be some coaching problems.
Mm-hmm. Orange Theory is where Jason goes. Orange Theory, I think that's where they get like in a sauna or something and work out or something like that. And
you know, the Minnesota defense, that just goes to show the defense ain't that good. You're giving up 33 points in the first half.
Yeah.
Something wrong with you.
Look at them. It's in Minnesota. Is Giants ready for that horn?
Let me tell you something.
Oh.
I sat there and told Matt, I said, look, I have predicted this. I said, Thibodeau going to have the game of his life. And he did. And so I called it out. I'm going to do a little study this week.
He did.
I'm going to do a little study this week, and I'll make another prediction.
There you go. But he did. He had 2 sacks. He was player of the week.
Yeah.
He had He had a touchdown, a caused fumble.
Right.
Yeah, so he did. He played like a top 5 pick.
Yeah, he came out of the shadow this week. Exactly.
He did. It's going to be a little tougher in Minnesota.
I know.
So if they can stop Justin Jefferson.
The Redskins tougher than Minnesota for us overall.
Minnesota beat them in Maryland because obviously they play in Maryland. So,
but it's something about the Commanders that's missing because they do have seem like they got the team, but seem like everybody's not quite all on the same page.
Well, since we're talking about that, 2 questionable calls. The one on the goal line where McLaren, you have to be honest, he looked to the ref and asked him, was he in the proper alignment? The ref goes this. So what does that mean to you?
Well, did he throw the flag? That's the one who threw the flag?
Yes. Yes, he looked directly at him and went and the ref put his thumb up, and it's on video.
But you know what? You should never have that kind of penalty playing at home. I don't care what nobody says. You're a wide receiver. You should know better. You should never have a penalty being a wide receiver playing at home.
Yeah, but that cost them a touchdown. In the next one, it was a obvious pass interference with Darnay Holmes.
Absolutely.
Obvious. And how can you not call that? And I'm not saying the Giants probably would have still won, but those 2 were questionable calls.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. That referee crew right there would not be going to the Super Bowl calling the game. They made some terrible calls. They made some bad calls.
They really did. And that's one thing about the Cowboys losing to Jaguar. I can't say that the refs made bad calls. I mean, they made I was legitimate calls.
I think the Cowboys get into the what they in the media too much, or they smelling they must or something. Because let me tell you something. You got to be serious when you go and play visiting teams on the road. You got to play a complete game. You can't have those mistakes.
Right. And this week is their last home game because their next 2 games are against Tennessee and Washington. That's their last 2 games. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to the game this week and see what happens.
Yeah, that's going to be a Christmas Eve game, right?
Yes. Jason's going to the Minnesota game. Well, he's not going, but he'll be there in heart and mind.
Well, I tell you now, he can save that trip because the Giants going to whoop up on the Vikings.
I don't know.
Spank them.
I don't know.
Say that guy blowing that horn, he going to be homesick.
He's gonna have COVID, huh?
He's gonna be sound like a horse that lost his voice.
I don't know.
You gonna say that thing Byron predicted that right?
Now I think we're gonna talk about that. We could actually start going to the games. The first game is Thursday night, and it's Jacksonville against the New York Jets. Give me a little bit your input into it.
Well, Jacksonville Jaguars is one of those teams who have turned the corner, and I think now with Doug Peterson there and Trevor Lawrence, we talked about him earlier. I think the Jaguar might be clicking at the right time. And so over the last 2 to 3 years, they've had all these draft choices. So now maybe they're getting a feel for what the game is all about. So I think the Jaguars, the Jets right now is so inconsistent. They should have won the game last week, but I'm going with the Jaguars.
Yeah, the Jets have been playing hard. They played hard with Robert Saleh. Obviously, he had to defend Zach Wilson this week, because Zach Wilson started the game because Mike White was injured, rib injuries. But I think the problem is that, like you said, the Jacksonville is playing with confidence, and they still can make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're still in it. I mean,
they still win the division.
They
if
went
Tennessee
out.
Continues to struggle, they can win there. Who's the MVP this year? Patrick
Well, we
Mahomes?
had talked about it last week. We thinking, well, we were talking about Jalen Hurts because he done hurt his shoulder this last game.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a quarterback. You know that. So
yeah, it's either Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen.
Yeah, and then they say Joe Burrow name was mentioned too. So it's gonna be a quarterback.
They haven't mentioned Kirk Cousins, so sorry, Jason.
No, Kirk Cousins know that. Hey, guess what? Kirk Cousins is sitting by Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones. They all sitting right there on the same row.
Ooh.
I said it.
Wow.
But you know what? They all having good seasons though. They all having good years.
Yeah, they are.
They stand beside each other on that bench.
Yeah, they are. Okay, we got Buffalo. Excuse me. So I picked Jacksonville also.
Okay.
Then we got Buffalo at Chicago.
Buffalo at Chicago. Man, Chicago been playing good at home. But I'm telling you, Buffalo right now, I just think they're going to be the team that it's going to be hard. It's hard for Buffalo to lose a game. So I got to go with Buffalo.
I'm going to go with them, but I think Buffalo will have a little difficulties in them. And the reason is Justin Fields is a rare quarterback. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be special. But he's got the same issue that Lamar Jackson does. He might run. That move he made last week, that was unbelievable because I thought he was sacked.
Absolutely. And you know what? What's good about watching him, Justin Fields, is that he getting a more of a feel for the game, the speed of the game. He making good decisions. Seems like he's running with authority. He getting and playing with confidence.
Yeah, because they should have beat the Eagles last week.
Absolutely, 25-20. They should have beat them.
Yeah. So
they played them hard. They played the Eagles hard.
I think Buffalo will win, but it's going to be closer than people anticipate.
Yeah.
New Orleans at Cleveland. This is an interesting game.
I'm taking the Cleveland.
You're going to take Cleveland?
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that New Orleans and Carolina are only one game behind Tampa, and they all have losing records?
6-8, something like that. Some crazy record. Yeah.
So I'm going to go with New Orleans.
You know what they ought to have? They ought to put a rule in the NFL. If you're under 500, you don't make the playoff. I don't care what division you're in.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because that don't make sense. It really hurt the other teams who have a pretty decent season when now you are finishing 7-9 and you don't make the playoff, and the other teams are finished 9-7 and they can't make the playoff.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, stay on because we got to ask you a question later on because Minnesota plays the New York Giants, and we're going to let you pick it with us. But you're right. If you have a losing record, you shouldn't be in the playoffs because you're taking away a team that has a winning record. So I think New Orleans, that's why I think New Orleans will beat Cleveland. Although Deshaun Watson is a franchise quarterback. He's getting better.
I'm taking the Browns. I think Myles Garrett and defense going to be hard to – they've been playing well. Their defense been playing well. Yeah,
and the more you think about it, it's going to be cold. New Orleans is playing outside, and Cleveland is the mistake on the lake.
I'm telling you, that lake wind is like no other.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Cleveland. I think you're right on that one.
Okay, I've got you. Cleveland.
Houston at Tennessee.
Houston been playing hard. And Tennessee done lost, 5 or 6 in a row?
Yeah.
It's sad that they
lost
really depend on Derrick Henry. How they really depend on Derrick Henry. That's the only good thing you could talk about Tennessee Titans, but for some reason, they don't play good team ball. They done lost all their momentum.
Yeah, and they lost to Kansas City in overtime, correct? Last week. Houston did.
Yeah, Houston did. Yeah, Houston did. Yeah, Houston did.
I think
Tennessee lost to the Chargers last week.
I know.
It was a Thursday night game.
I think Tennessee will win this game. I'm picking Tennessee. I think Houston will continue to play hard. There's a groundswell in Houston to get rid of Lovie Smith. But I don't think
he never should have hired no way. He need to just go and relax and be Santa Claus or somebody. White. He don't look like no coach in the NFL. Get somebody in there that can inspire your team. He walking around looking like Santa Claus.
And I'm kind of shocked because you usually back people from East Texas.
I do. But man, I'm all about giving other guys opportunity too. He done had his turn. He has. He went to Chicago to the Super Bowl. Great. He was at Illinois. I mean, great coach. Great individual. Yeah. Got great roots from East Texas. Yeah, absolutely. But man, they've been playing hard. The last 2 weeks, they played against the Cowboys. They played against the Chiefs. I mean, great potential. But, man, I don't know if they plan to win games now,
Mm-hmm.
What you think?
I'm going to go with Tennessee this week.
I'm going with Tennessee.
They're in the Bryce Young. Huh?
I don't see Houston beat nobody. I mean,
no, they're in the Bryce Young sweepstakes. Trying to get Bryce Young. So
yeah, they're trying to get a quarterback. Exactly. Yeah.
So that's just my opinion on it. Seattle at Kansas City.
I think Seattle, they surprised a lot of teams, but when you go up to Kansas City, I think they got a couple of injuries too. I know Tyler Lockett got hurt last week.
Yes,
so they ain't got their full force. Yeah, they ain't got their full force at the receiver. So I'm going with Kansas City.
The other wide receiver is crazy too. He gets a lot of penalties.
Yeah.
He said he's not going to change his game. So
Seattle, you know what's exciting about Seattle? They got a good young defense.
Yes.
And they've been playing really good defense. They got a couple of young defensive backs that's showing out. That's high.
The defensive back is from UTSA.
Yeah,
he's from Fort Worth.
Yeah, he came to my football camp with his little kid. Him and his dad, Jerome Wooden. I talk to him all the time, and so I'm excited for him and his family because today he was selected as the most surprising player of the draft.
Yeah, but that kid ran a 4.2 something.
Yeah,
and Wooden, and he also was originally a wide receiver that they switched to DB.
And then I showed him how to run that 40, so he never did forget. But I had him at age 12. I spent some time with him, but
he's 6'4".
Yeah.
So he's taller than Richard Sherman.
Yeah. And he can run, number 27.
Yeah, he can really run. So I'm still going to pick Kansas City, but I worry about Kansas City defensively. I think they got some, just like the Cowboys, they have issues. Mahomes can't win every game, especially when you start getting into playoffs teams.
But you know what I love about Mahomes, he is one of the, when he get on that football field, he all about trying to make it happen. I mean, he don't try to force the ball in there like some quarterbacks do. That's why some of these guys need to take notes.
Yeah, I would agree. But I'm going with Mahomes.
I'm going with Mahomes too. I'm going with Kansas City.
Yeah. Okay, we got New York. Jason, you still here? At Minnesota.
Yeah, Jason. Let me see who you gonna pick.
Who you gonna pick, Jason? Jason might be gone. Jason.
Yes, he might be gone, but I tell you what, he picked Minnesota last week.
He picked Minnesota, yeah. He's always going. Oh, there he is.
What do you say? What did he say?
He said the Vikes will put some coal in the Giants' stocking. Vikes win 27-24. The march to Arizona continues. Skol!
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna call over there and see if I can get a doctor to get his blood, check his alcohol level, because he might be drunk. He talking out the side of his mouth.
Jason, you're my friend, but I want you to remember Vikings against Philadelphia, what happened? Vikings against the Cowboys, what happened? The only team that the Vikings have beat in the NFC East is Washington. That's the only team. So remember that. So, and they just barely beat Washington. So I'm going with New York Giants.
The Giants will fix. Hey, the Giants gonna fix them some Thanksgiving, some Christmas dinner, and we're gonna be calling on cousins and kin in-laws, and we're gonna whoop that butt.
I usually say Kirk Cousins if it's night he doesn't play, and he did actually play well last week. He played really well.
But Jeff, it's Saturday. He over there kissing. He over there kissing cousins. He ain't gonna do a thing.
Yeah. Vikes at Buffalo. What happened? Oh my goodness. Hey, you know when Cousins started playing well was when baby Cousins came out with the chain on and with no shirt on, and then he started making plays. Yeah. Hey, wait, did the Vikes beat Buffalo?
No.
I didn't think so.
They went up there and got on.
I thought so. I was going like, wait a minute, what are you talking about, Jason?
But Jason, you're a good
blowing that horn too much. It's got you a little brain damage.
You're a true fan, though. I got to give him
credit. He is. I respect him for that. I respect you, Jason, because you are a true fan. And I always respect you. I'm not a Vikings fan. I hated going there. And I hated that darn horn. One time I was going to accidentally run out of the bounds and hit that darn Viking. But he was bigger than I was. So
yeah, he's a big boy.
All right, buddy. They did. Okay.
Well, we're gonna see.
Well, I'm going with New York because you struggle against NFC East teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you something.
Interesting. Only ones that have been
Saquon Barkley gonna have 150.
Yeah, you played 3 NFC East teams at home and only 1 on the road. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know who made that schedule up.
Yeah, really.
It's probably been 2 and 2.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But they played the Cowboys at home. Wait, they was 2 and 2 because they played Philly and Philly, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So it was 2 and 2.
Yeah.
So and they played Washington at Washington was at home. So you're right.
But we do have to give them the kudos because we did say that the Vikings were going to be one of the interesting teams this year. In 2022. And they lived up to
Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson is going to be, and now they got Hockenson from the Detroit Lions who's playing pretty well.
Yeah,
so you're right.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think their issues are in defense.
Yeah.
That's what makes teams dangerous if they can.
That's what Saquon Barkley gonna have he's gonna have 150 yards.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna go with the New York Giants. Okay.
G-man.
Okay. Okay, we got Cincinnati at New England.
Cincinnati. I'm going with Joe Burrow. I just think, they don't want 9-10 games now. Man, Joe Burrow, they went down last week and beat the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Well, here's my issue with it. First of all, what does Belichick do better than any other head coach in the NFL? He takes away your number one threat. He's going to take Jamar Chase out. He's going to take the running back, Mixon out. and he's going to force Perine and Higgins to beat him. That's just how he does things. Cincinnati.
What are you going to do with Chase? What are you going to do with Jamar Chase? What are you going to do with that?
That's what I said. He's going to take Chase out. They're going to make sure that he doesn't beat him.
And Boyd, what about the other two receivers?
That's the problem. That's the problem because they can use other receivers. It's going to be a good game because it's in New England. How's my fantasy team doing, Jason? I'm in the semifinals. Ask Byron how his is doing.
No comment. No comment.
Byron is home fishing, but I might be home next week too, Jason.
Jason, I'm on vacation. I'm in Vegas.
So my fantasy team is doing well, but this week I got a tough one. I got the number one. I'm going against the number one seed, Jason. But you never know what's going to happen. Somebody gets injured, and you'll get all those sides. Shoot, Dalvin Cook, Jason, got me 35 points last week.
He had a good game.
Yeah, he did.
They came back. They was on fire when Dalvin Cook. He had the game of the week.
Yeah, 90 yards rushing and 90 yards passing.
Yeah.
90 yards in reception.
Reception. Yeah.
So I'm a Dalvin Cook fan. But I think Cincinnati's gonna win. I think Cincinnati they're getting in that mode, like you said. I think New England might not make the playoffs.
Well, New England, their offense seemed to be so. They ain't scoring over 20 points. They can't score over 21 points.
Yeah. And there's rumors. I don't know how factual they are. They're saying that the Carolina Panthers might trade their pick to get Bill Belichick to be the head coach.
You think so?
I think it would do Belichick good to get a change of scenery because the Patriot way has been on so long that, I mean, people have heard it for so long, and maybe it is. Maybe he needs to go somewhere else. And if he wants to still coach, maybe that'd bring energy to him and bring energy to the Carolina organization.
Yeah.
So they said they might figure out a way to get him. They said that Tepper wants him.
Yeah,
but Steve Wilkes is doing a good job.
Yeah, that'd be good to change. Just change new scene. Go to a new scenery.
Exactly. That gives you some energy sometimes. So I still think Cincinnati will win the game, personally. Here's an interesting game. It's Detroit at Carolina.
Detroit at Carolina. Man, I tell you that Coach Campbell might be one of the coaches of the year for what he has done in Detroit. You just got to, they played hard last week against the Jets, and I thought the Jets were gonna beat them, but man, Detroit came through.
Yeah, and Detroit's got a lot of talent from picking those high draft picks, and Dan has them playing really good. Now, Dan was all Giant, and then he was a Cowboy.
Yeah,
he played for both teams, and he's from Texas.
Yeah,
he's from Texas. He's from down there by Brownswood.
Yeah,
but he's done a nice job. Aaron Glenn and maybe
Glenn Rose.
Yeah, he's from Glen Rose.
Yeah,
but he's done a nice job with that. And Aaron Glenn is whatever was happening with the defense, they've improved, and now they're playing good football. And I'm going to go with. I know Carolina's. If they win a couple of games, they'll win the NFC East. The NFC South. But I'm going to go with Detroit. I'm going with Detroit too. Because Detroit, yeah. Because what they did with the Jets, I just thought the Jets were going to beat them last week, and they didn't allow that. So I'm going to go with Detroit. Yeah, I agree with you. Atlanta at Baltimore. I'm going with the Ravens at home, but Atlanta,
Didn't they play the rookie quarterback last week?
Man, he played pretty good. He played pretty good.
It's just right now. I think Atlanta just trying to prepare for next year and trying to get what they're gonna do in the next 12 months. You know, how they gonna get the drafts, and you know, they was in for to win that South, but they done fell to the wayside the last couple of weeks.
I am about to shock you. I am going with Atlanta, and I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, Huntley is a hardworking, good kid, but I just don't see him. I mean, after last week, I thought they were going to beat Cleveland. I had picked them to beat Cleveland. They couldn't get it done. They lost Evan Duvernay to a broken foot in practice. They signed Sammy Watkins, who's only caught 13 passes this year. They don't have any. They have the only receiver they have is Mark Andrews. They don't have any receivers. They're going to stack up on the run, and they're going to be able to control them because Atlanta has a little bit more firepower. So I'm going to go with Atlanta.
I'm going with the home team. First of all, you got to get a home team 3 to 7 points. So all that stuff you talking about they ain't going. They're already going up to Baltimore already behind. So I'm just thinking that they got an edge on the defensive side as well as home field advantage.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going with Atlanta. Washington at San Francisco.
Oh, the 49ers right now.
I am about to.
49ers right now is clicking.
I'm about to shock you. I am going with the 49ers.
I know you're going.
I'm not even thinking about Washington. Although Washington has been playing pretty tough, but they can't beat the 49ers, even with Brock Purdy. Boy, this is the way the schedule's worked out. It's worked out really good for Purdy because he's really not playing a lot of difficult teams at this point.
And what I love about Purdy, he's sticking to the assignment. You know, the coach got a script for him. He go out there and perform in like majesty. You know, he's doing what he does.
He's doing a good job. But I'm gonna go with San Francisco and San Francisco. I don't think Washington has enough to. They'll play hard and they'll make it interesting, but they're not gonna beat San Francisco. Now, the game of the week: Philadelphia at Atlanta. The possibilities of Jalen Hurt playing is very slim. He hasn't practiced. He didn't practice any time this week. And Philadelphia opened up as a 3-point favorite. Now they're a 6-point underdog.
I actually think the Cowboys got to win this game. And I think ain't too many teams gonna go through the season only lose one game. Mm-hmm. So this is one of the games I think that the Eagles probably gonna lose.
Yeah,
that's my feeling on this.
Here's my opinion on it. I think Minshew is a capable backup. He's similar to Cooper Rush.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll be fine there. I just my biggest concerns are: can we stop Miles Sanders?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about run. And A.J. Brown is looking at film of Calvin Joseph, and if he gives him a double move, it's over.
Well, that's another thing. That's another thing too. The Eagles gonna definitely beat the Cowboys on the outside for using their receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So
Dallas Cowboy comes back but I think the Cowboys will win, and I think they'll get it. It's going to be fired up in that stadium. Somebody asked us, is Nick Bosa this year's MVP, defensive MVP?
Yeah, he
right now he is.
He is. He's leading candidates on the defensive side of the ball right now.
Nick Bosa is. He's playing that well, yeah. And their defense is the number one defense in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
Allowed. So I
All
think
because of him. All because of Nick.
Yeah, he's playing really well. So I would say yes, he is.
One of the things I want to say this on Nick. Nick Bosa last week when they played, he stayed out there and talked to the fans, and he just care about the game on and off the football field. So that says a lot for that young man.
Yeah. Did you know his father was a first-round draft pick?
I didn't know that. I know that they
bloodline.
That bloodline is thick.
Yeah, he played for Miami.
Okay.
But his father was a #1 draft pick, where he grew up in Miami too. And both of them went to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Joey and Nick. But yeah, his father was a #1 draft choice.
That's
but
great.
I'm going to go with Dallas over Philadelphia. And I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it because I don't like Philadelphia.
Well, I'm going with Philadelphia.
I thought you were going with Dallas.
I changed my mind. You know why?
Okay.
Wow. People ran him off the road this week.
But you're in Vegas. How can they be running you off the road?
So they lost. They lost last week. So this is what's going to happen. Since I'm not in Dallas, and I want my people. I want people that I know to be able to get around, enjoy the Christmas holiday, and then Saturday night, I wouldn't want to be those wives because they're going to have some people they got to rest because they're going to be beating up their wives. They're going to be so mad.
Man, forget you. Oh, man. I'm going with Dallas. I'm going
with the Eagles. Even though I said earlier, I think teams gonna usually lose 1 or 2 or 3 games. And I thought this was gonna be one of the games that the Eagles was gonna lose because it's so much pressure on Dallas. And they've been all week, they've been saying the right thing. When you talk to Michael Parsons and all those guys, they've been saying the right thing. So all I'm saying is this. They gonna probably win. Dallas gonna probably win, but I'm gonna take the Eagles.
Okay. All right. This is the Immaculate Reception game. Las Vegas at Pittsburgh.
Right.
And unfortunately, it was supposed to be a big day for Franco Harrison. We've talked about that early in the show.
Yeah.
His sudden passing. But
right.
I'm going with Pittsburgh.
I'm going with the Eagles too because
going with the Eagles.
No. I'm going with the Steelers. I still got the Eagles on my back. I got to have.
Because you know you made a mistake.
No, I want the Cowboys people to understand that they're gonna lose this week.
Jason says, "Good pick, guys, except for your one guaranteed loss picking the Giants." I'm sorry, Jason. I just think they've struggled against the NFC East. It's nothing against. I think Kirk Cousins is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
He won the best quarterback. Hey, Jill, he won the best quarterback in preseason.
No, Kirk Cousins is having it, Justin Jefferson, and they finally got Thielen involved. But I'm going to pick. I'm staying with my pick. I'm going with the Giants because they've struggled against the East. So
the Giants right now is on fire. I mean, when they had to do what they should have beat the Redskins the first game and then kick them down on the second game, but they did enough to be ready for the playoffs. But I'm gonna take the Steelers as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Steelers. We got 3 more games we got to get through, and we got a little bit of time. Green Bay at Miami.
Sunday night game.
Yes. No, it's the 12 o'clock. It's Sunday game.
Oh, Sunday game. Okay. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
You see how silent it got in here.
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
I'm going with Miami because Green Bay's defense is not very good.
Okay, but I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
You have that choice. You have that choice to be wrong.
You know why?
Why?
It's gonna be a high-scoring game, and Aaron Rodgers gonna take the drive down the last few minutes or whatever, and he's gonna surprise the Dolphins. He's gonna surprise them.
You must not heard this. Green Bay at Miami.
I don't care if they
I'm
had.
going with Miami.
Okay.
Okay, Denver at Los Angeles, Rams.
Man,
Russell Wilson's going to be back. Russ. Sierra loves L.A.
I'm going. Yeah, he at home, so I'm going with Broncos. Who you go with?
I'm going with Denver. The
Rams right now, they just
They're just trying to finish the season and go on.
They're still partying that Super Bowl.
They are. They really are. Now we got Tampa Bay at Arizona.
Tampa Bay got to win this game. It's no doubt. This is a must-win for them. They have to win this game. So I'm thinking they're going to be one of the most focused teams to play this week. So I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Arizona's down to their third quarterback. Trace McCoy. Jason asked, in honor of the Vikings' biggest comeback in NFL history, what was your biggest comeback game? We did it against Washington. I didn't run a touchdown. I sacked him 5 times, Jason. So that was the biggest comeback. No, the biggest comeback for me was against the Redskins. We were down, I think, 17 points, and we came back and beat them. What was your biggest comeback, Byron?
I think against the Eagles, I think we were down probably about 17, something like that. We know wasn't down like the way they had it this past week,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the Eagles.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Tampa. They're Chase McCoy. Did you realize this too? This is one of those fun facts that I was looking up, getting ready for the show. Is Cliff Kingsbury at one time was a backup for Tom Brady.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a backup for Tom Brady. But I'm going to
in New England.
In New England, yeah. Cliff played pro football. He played for Texas Tech. He broke all those records.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, your Los Angeles Chargers at Indianapolis.
That's the team. That's my team right there. That's the team I'm picking. I'm telling you. I'm taking. People don't know Chargers gonna be a surprise team in the AFC. I've been saying day one.
They gotta win, or they're gonna surprise everybody and get their coach fired. But I'm going with the Chargers too.
Yeah, you better.
I think it was a big mistake giving Jeff Saturday that position.
Yeah, I think I heard something about they was in the news today, the coach. So something that's going on with them. But yeah, they just right now the coach they don't they don't seem like they even want to win a game.
No, I agree. So that's everything. Want to wish, first of all, we got a little bit of time left, but want to make sure that I wish everybody Merry Christmas. And we'll be here for next week. So I wish you Happy New Year's then. And, this has been an interesting year between you and me, Byron. I taught you how to waddle. I taught you, a little bit about.
But you know what? They're not even going to the waddle no more. They threw the waddle out of the playbook.
What?
I'm just joking.
But everybody's doing the giddy. The giddy. That's what they're doing. So.
But you know what? I can say this. Me and Mac were talking about it earlier. Your head done got bigger.
That's because I have so many right calls. And that's because of fantasy football. And I'm doing so well in fantasy football. That's why, I got the big head.
They do.
I got a lot of friends out there. They're the ones running you off the road. So you better be careful how you talk to me.
So they might give you that big head award this year. So that's good.
Oh man. Well, they might.
But this is week 16 coming up, I think.
Week 16, and it's been a really good season in certain ways and questionable in other ways. I think the officiating has to get better.
Have to get better. We, I'm not trying to make no excuses for nobody, but man, that Giant last play. That guy really that was a pass interference. I mean, some of these calls, hit calls and guys sacking quarterbacks and then they throwing penalties. I mean, it's just knocking the fun out of the game.
Yeah. But it's time for us to go. Thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry
We'll
Christmas.
be here for you next and wishing you a Happy New Year. So next week.
We'll see you.